Today I am going to talk about a sutta named Samādhi Sutta. This sutta is an encouragement of the Buddha for disciples, for those on the spiritual path, to develop the concentration, which is known as Samādhi in Bali. This word Samādhi is very interesting because the word itself means well remain calm, remain a state where the mind remains calm and unagitated. It is a combination of four components. Sam, the, e. Sam and are two prefixes. Sam means well. Is an intensifier. So well intensely. Da means to remain still, to remain fixed. E is just only a suffix. So combination of these these four components compose a mental state which remain unagitated, calm, and being focused on the object of meditation. We human beings have the wonderful power called the consciousness of the mind. The power of consciousness can be seen and experienced in everyday world around us. You can see many technological wonders and mysterious and very hard to explain experience generated by the mind. All the technological wonders which you see today are just only the creation of the human consciousness. It is very powerful energy. Anyone who can develop that positive conditions of that energy and can use it in a positive way will be benefited. Buddha's meditation is just only a branch of spiritual science, advanced in many ways because it is full of the techniques suitable for everyone with every mental state, from simple and easy one to more advanced and more complex trainings. Even though mindfulness practice seems to be difficult for most people in the beginning, it becomes much more easier with the practice and with the training, with the sufficient amount of the commitment and effort. Samadhi is a positive mental quality. That is the basic of all the higher attainment and higher achievements. In this discourse, Buddha encouraged the disciple to develop the samadhi, the concentration, that mental energy which remains still and strong and concentrated, being fixed on a particular object, specific object of meditation. By means of the samadhi, one can manipulate one's own mind. Not only that, if that person have attained some supernatural capacity, by use of his mental energy and mental power, he can perform miracles. So we don't need to aim at achieving those kind of supernatural power. We just only need to aim our practice to develop more calm, more sustained, long-lasting calm and mindfulness, so that necessary subsequent insight knowledge develop, and that insight knowledge will keep the mind enlightened. This is the purpose of the mindfulness meditation. Before we explain the sutta, you need to know the different kind of the concentration based on the characteristic and based on the level of the attainment a person achieve. There are three kinds of samadhis. They are called the momentary concentration, which lasts only for a few moments. In Pali, it's called the Khanika Samadhi. And the second Samadhi is called the Upajjhara Samadhi. Upajjhara is a little bit more stronger and more long-lasting. Upa means nearby. Jhara means that which arises. So samadhi which arises near the more higher state of the concentration. Then the third one is called Appana. Appana Samadhi. Appana Samadhi is that just near the door before one enter into the more sustained, long-lasting absorption state. This one is more strong, but it doesn't last long. Once a person develops Appana Samadhi, one start entering into the more deep, long-lasting samadhis of the absorption, which is called the jhana samadhi, and mega samadhi and flash samadhi. Especially jhana samadhi and flash samadhi are more long-lasting, because the mega samadhi, the moment of the part knowledge is not long-lasting. It's just only momentary process of consciousness. These are basically called three kinds of the samadhi. Another kind of samadhi is much more simple and easy to understand for most of you. So the first one is called the Savitaka Savichara Samadhi. Concentration with the initial thoughts and recurring thoughts still present. So remember that you can achieve mental calm and stillness, but with the initial thoughts and subsequent thoughts still present, remaining, arising occasionally. Most meditators, they can achieve. This is more easier to understand. And the second samadhi is called Avidaga Vichara Mada Samadhi. There are no initial gross thoughts, but very subtle, infrequent, occasional thoughts may arise, even though one remains calm, one's mind remains calm and focused. This is what's called Avidaga Vichara Mada Samadhi. And the third one is called Avidaga Avichara Samadhi. Concentration without the occurrence of any kind of the gross initial thoughts or subsequent thoughts, which are like say echoing sound or resonating sound of a ringing bell. This second kind of category, this classification is much more relevant and easier for most meditators to understand. A meditator during the long-term retreat of intensive meditation, he can see that he is in the first or in the second stage of the samadhi. His samadhi may belong to the first state with the thoughts and recurrent thoughts still present, but in much more advanced and progressive stage of his mindfulness meditation, when the mind becomes very calm and very peaceful and very much well-behaved, when the meditator is like under full control of the mind become his own tool instead of his boss and his servant. So the mind is very calm, and if the meditator's mindfulness wishes to remain focused on that particular object, the mind remains there. And like a well-trained monkey, a well-trained animal in the circuits. That's a wonderful progress. When a meditator achieves that state, it's very important to sustain his effort to continue very skillfully. And this way, that samadhi doesn't disintegrate quickly. This is a very wonderful progress. So altogether, I have explained it, the first Savittaka Savichara Samadhi, Avidaka Ucharamata Samadhi, and Avidaka Ucharamata Samadhi. Now I want to explain the third one. The third one is more advanced. More advanced. When a meditator attains this kind of the samadhi, mostly and very deep vipassana experience during his progressive stage of practice, or when a meditator attains the third and the fourth jhanas and upwards, there's no more gross initial thoughts, nor any recurring thoughts ever present in the mind. Only samadhi and joy remain. This is how the third level of the samadhi is attained. And altogether, these are three kinds of the samadhis explained from the level of the achievement where the distraction, known as the initial thoughts and recurring thoughts, are present or absent. This is more easy to understand. It is quite easy to notice for meditator. Most of you may have achieved the first kind of samadhi during your practice, especially when you have made substantial amount of progress in your practice. Once you achieve that kind of the samadhi and that kind of progressive practice, bodhidikam and mandakam start arising. Before they arise, you know the lightness of the body and very subtle state of the body. I think seem to be so wonderful. Even though the bodies are made out of heavy bones and flesh and those kind of the nagging and disturbing pains everywhere in the body, you no longer feel it. You are like in the sky, in the space, in the boundless space, enjoying your move in the walking meditation, enjoying your sit and doing everything effortlessly. And this is how this wonderful advanced state of the samadhi can generate many wonderful physical manifestation and mental manifestation. Body become very light and very subtle. And sometimes when a meditator is about to attain that kind of the higher state of the samadhi, and when he's already in that kind of samadhi, the body start being feel light, and he feel buoyant. And the body sometimes almost lifted upward. In my experience, I have seen one monk sitting in front of me. During that time, in the month of March, very hot weather, that monk, he achieved that state. His body bounce up and down. Fellow meditators can see, but that monk doesn't notice. His body is happening like this. This is one practical experience I have seen. Some of you may have this experience. The body start being lifted up. It is almost being lifted up. You feel that. And sometimes the body is lifted up. And it starts moving back and forth. Back and forth very gently, not violently. And for some meditators, the body starts moving sideways, left to right, very gently. And at this stage, it's very important to apply very skillful noting. One must note that kind of motion as knowing, or moving, etc. Otherwise, it can distract. It can distract the attention. So, advanced state of the samadhi is wonderful. Once a person attains in such kind of state, the body as well as the mind becomes calm, peaceful, agitated, very light and very supple. Walking meditation is so smooth that meditator doesn't feel any kind of being out of balance. He can move extra slow, more step walking, multi-step walking meditation. Multi-step walking meditation is not suitable for every meditator, only for those in progressive advanced state of the mindfulness practice. So, what I want to say is that spiritual power is very wonderful. It can generate many interesting experiences which are positive and enjoyable, and which are also harmless in many ways. Most enlightened saints and those who have made great progress in their practice, when they attain this third stage of the samadhi, they are usually in the absorption state if they are on samatha path, or in deep vipassana, very calm and very peaceful, being able to absorb the mental and physical phenomena effortlessly. In this discourse, Buddha encouraged the disciple using his own experience as a guiding tool. When he explained in this discourse, he mentioned about that the wonderful impact of the samadhi is to be experienced by meditator himself, not by other people. Now let me quote what Buddha has said in the discourse. Samadhi bhikkhve bhavita abhamana nibbaga patisada. These are initial words of encouragement. Disciple, you should develop samadhi, which is measureless, by bringing your practice to maturity, by being mindful with the ever-present mindfulness. I translate this sentence so that you can understand easily. Samadhi in Bhikkhve Bhavita means disciple, you develop the samadhi. Abhamana means missionless. Why Buddha use this word? Samadhi in advanced stage is free of any distraction or any mental pollutants that can bring the mind down, that can scatter the mind. This way, the mind becomes insignificant and small. This way, the mental pollutants and various kinds of those thoughts, useless and random thoughts, can lessen the power of the mind. So they are called the pamanakara, measuring of the mind. They measure the mind to be great, to be small, to be insignificant. Most common people's mind is always measured. Angry mind, distracted mind, confusing mind, sad mind, depressed mind, and restless mind, etc. The mind is very insignificant and measured mind. But when a person attains sustained degree of the concentration, those mental contaminants cannot disturb that mind to make it small, to make it insignificant. We have a lot of the millions and millions of insignificant mental occurrence every day by having aimless random thoughts, wandering here and there, sometimes wandering even back to our native countries, and sometimes very busy, and even wandering to maybe some part of Europe where the conflict is arising, even though there's no association, no business, there's nothing. There's no business for us to think about such a thing. So our mind is a busy mind, always wondering, always wishing this and that. By having such kind of the thoughts, the mind becomes insignificant and powerless. It can even cause a problem. So abhamana means missionless. When a person, a meditator, makes progress in his meditation, the mind, his concentration develops. The mind remains calm and still and peaceful, and leading to more higher attainment, such as jhana and body fruition knowledge. And now another two words, nibbaka, padesata. These are adverb, two adverb words. Nibbaka means being mature by bringing your practice to maturity. This was a very clear reminder for us. We cannot expect instant results, overnight results, like the way you see very delicious fruit. Let's say you see the very delicious fruit, persimmon, a persimmon fruit, fast, small buds come when it's a season, slowly, flowers and then small fruit. The small fruits growing bigger and bigger, and they reach certain maturity. But even if they reach certain maturity, the color is still green. At that stage, if you pick up that fruit and just slice it with your knife and try to taste it, you will be shocked because the taste is so terrible. But when the fruit reach maturity, under the heat of the sun and the harsh elements and necessary temperature, it starts changing its color to yellow or to red, then there is enough amount of the nutrients and taste, the best taste come up out of that horrible taste. And you pick up the fruit and you slice it, you taste it. Wonderful. It is a very wonderful taste. Let's say you are attaining culinary nibbana. Culinary nibbana means your tongue is happy with the taste. The nibbana we are striving for is spiritual nibbana, not culinary nibbana. Culinary nibbana can be experienced on the surface of the tongue. It doesn't last long. You have to repeat your action again and again. Because it has a material thing, material base. And spiritual joy and spiritual bliss is much more higher and advanced than that material joy, material bliss. So Buddha said, Nibbaka, by being mature, by bringing your practice to maturity, Padesata, this above is also very simple. Pati means ever present. Sata means mindfulness. With your mindfulness always present. Unless you follow these two conditions, your samadhi will not develop. The words of Buddha are very clear. When you are going to develop that wonderful state of the sustained concentration, you have to fulfill two conditions, two requirements. First, you must bring your practice to maturity after long-term practice. Padesada, your mindfulness should be ever present, ever maintained, uninterrupted. So once you fulfill these two requirements, you will be able to develop that wonderful concentration. Now let me continue what Buddha said. Samadhi bhikkhve bhavayatang appamanam nibbanam pradhistanam pencha jnanani pichatinyiva upechanti. Disciple, if you are able to develop such kind of measureless concentration by being mature, by being mindful, then you will experience very wonderful, unique reflection and reflective thoughts by yourself. So this means that you will experience the benefits of that wonderful mental state by yourself. Katamani pancha. What are those 5 unique attributes of the concentration, sustained concentration? Ayam samadhi pijubbana sukho jiva ayadeja sukha vipako. This concentration is so peaceful and joyous at every moment of its occurrence. Ayadeja sukha vipako, leading to subsequent endless joy and calm. In the commentary, it is explained that the word Pijubbana Sukho, calm and joyous at the present, means that every day Madhidata remains in that state of wonderful samadhi and calm. There is only joy, no distraction. Just only joy and calm. And also, because it leads to subsequent mental state of calm and joy, it is explained by the Buddha, Adenja Sukha Vipako. It leads to more joy and more calm in the forthcoming moments and in the forthcoming times. These are very wonderful statements of the Buddha. Ayam Samadhi, this concentration, Pichopana Sukhosiwa, Choya Sinkang at the moment, at the present moment. Ayadenja in the future too, in the future moment too, Sukha Vipago, have the consequence of calm and joy. Deep Pichatin Yanyana, obviously, one can experience by oneself, by the meditator. This is the first unique characteristic. Ayam Samadhi, Ariyo Niramiso, the Bachateni Wanyana obituary. This is the second characteristic explained by the Buddha. This concentration is wholesome and novel. It is without any material base to be attached to remain stuck. Now I want to explain this because Buddha used the term Ariya. The Samadhi a meditator have attained in progressive stage is noble and holy because that wholesome mental state itself is not stained with any impurity, any mental impurity or any physical impurities. Never causing any harm or any problem to anyone. So in many respects, a concentration in meditator have attained and having enjoying in that stage is very much wholesome, sacred, because it can lead to more wholesomeness, more pure advanced mental states. Niramiso. Niramiso is a Pali term. Ni means without, a prefix. Amiso means something to hold on to. This means material base. Material base, where everybody's mind always stuck there by holding on to it. This can be explained by using the food we eat. When you eat the very delicious food, that delicious food itself is physical matter. You just take that physical food and put it into the mouth, and you have to chew it. You have to chew it, and then you taste that wonderful, delicious taste. So in this case, the taste and the food, material foods are destruction for the real joy and real calm. Because you have to get that food. In order to get that food, you have to make effort. When you are making effort, you have a lot of the mental states. And sometimes when you are looking for the food, you cannot find it. And you got upset. So this can lead to many unwholesome mental incidents. When you are trying to get that food, even after you get the food, you eat it and you taste it, and that taste is not long lasting. It lasts only for a moment. And desire comes up. Oh, I think I should eat that thing again. Then you start eating repeatedly. And only after that you are satisfied. But only after that they are attendant follow-up results, having blood cholesterol levels increase or blood sugar levels spike up as a result of that tasty food, and you start having mental pains and suffering. Oh, my blood pressure, my blood sugar levels are now spike up, increase, and I have to do something, etc. So there are a lot of the follow-up unnecessary things associated with that. That's what they call the amisa, material base, which is the point and the ground of all the mental restlessness and all the mental contaminants, mental pollutants. In meditation, you don't need such thing. You don't need to buy anything, any material thing in order to get this wonderful state of spiritual bliss and spiritual joy. This joy in Buddhist is called unadulterated joy. Unadulterated joy, not associated with any unwholesome, untoward thing. In Buddhist is called the unadulterated joy. In Pali it's called nirupakilesa sukha. Nirupakilesa, ni means without. Upakilesa, those which are always attendant and always stressful. Sukha means joy. Any joy without any stressful thing. So it has very wonderful quality. This joy, which can experience through development of this advanced consciousness, is pure and unadulterated. That's why it's called the Niramiso. There is nothing, no material base, either in terms of worldly thing, either in terms of any material manifestation which when one have to experience in the journey of life in the samsara, and also kilesamita. This is called the kilesamita because the amisa, material base too. They are kama misa, vada misa, and loka misa. Kama misa means pleasure base. This means material thing which completes consciousness. They are to be attached. They can increase your attachment and you are craving and you agree more and more endlessly. This is called the kama misa. We attach a lot of such things in everyday life. Vada misa. Vada misa means those pleasant things in the journey of life through our many existences. This is called the Vada misa. The third one is called the Kili, Loka misa. Loka misa is just only the pipe aggregates and also the mental incidents of the negative mental conditions. And Samadhi won't have attained by means of the intensive meditation practice is Niramisa. No immaterial, no material. Just only pure spiritual and unadulterated. So these unique attributes and this unique experience can be experienced by meditator. Now the third one. Ayam Samadhi Aga Purisa Sevido Di Pachadeniwa Nyana Obrijiti. This pure concentration is not to be experienced by people of low intention and mean conduct. Now, I need to explain this for Aga Purisa Sevido. Aga Purisa, A means not. Kapurisa, lowly people. People who have no moral, no spiritual purities, who just only live everyday life as a commoners. In more simple English, this Samadhi is not associated with the common people whose minds always full of the pollutions, mental pollution, who are not not intend to achieve mental purity and spiritual achievement. So Agapurisa is not a derogatory word. Actually, it is a term which refers to common people. This samadhi cannot be experienced by ordinary people with the ordinary mental attitudes and intention, let alone those with the low mental condition and low moral conducts. So this samadhi can be experienced by people on the spiritual path who maintain moral purity and spiritual purity. Moral purity, you can accomplish it easily by observing eight precepts and reflecting occasionally on your moral precepts. Oh, how fortunate, how wonderful it is for me to be able to observe these eight precepts during retreat without breaking any rule. I'm able to observe my eight moral precepts spotlessly and purely. And you develop wonderful feeling of joy out of that reflection, out of that thinking. And also think about that. If you are in other existence, such as and in the divine world, maybe in other social environment where there is no knowledge of moral precepts or morality, you won't be able to do that. We are in this human world as a human being, a very rare opportunity, a very rare privilege. By being alive in this world, by having close contact with the Dhamma, we are able to observe these eight precepts. And this way, you can reflect on your moral purity. This will lead you more happiness and more joy in your practice. So moral purity and spiritual purities are wonderful characteristics of the noble people. Only those noble people can experience this samadhi. No ordinary people cannot experience this kind of advanced state of the positive mental condition known as samadhi. So this is what Buddha explained in this discourse. Altogether, this is a number of the three attributes of the samadhi is explained. Now, the fourth attribute. Ayam samadhi sando panido pati pasada lado egodi bawa digado na sa sankhara nekisha warida gado di pachatenyi wa nyana ubichti. This sentence explains about the unique attributes of the samadhi. Ayam samadhi, this concentration in such advanced state, sando is calm, panido, endlessly joyous, patipasada lado can be attained only through development of the bodily calm and mental calm. Egodi bhava digdo, it can only be experienced and achieved only by being fixed on one point of the meditation. So I will explain these words one by one so that you can understand. The first word, sando. This is a unique attributes of the samadhi. It mentions about the characteristic of the samadhi. In order to develop samadhi, in order to achieve that kind of sustained concentration, one must fulfill certain conditions. The first condition is that it must transcend the impact of the hindrance and defilements. It must put out the incidence of the mental developments. This is the first condition. When a person is about to attain samadhi for a sustained duration of time, all the developments such as anger, desire, and sadness, and wandering thoughts should be absent. There should not be any occurrence of the developments. Development will become more infrequent and more absent in the mental flow of the meditator. This is the first condition in order for the sustained concentration to develop. This is the basic condition necessary, but it's not a compulsory condition. It is a natural condition. In order to fruit, to ripen, the gardener, the owner of the tree, cannot command the tree. You must ripen immediately. I want to eat it. I want to give to my children. You cannot command. Because the tree and the fruit has to follow its natural law. Those natural laws are not man-made. Man can only contribute something by fertilizing, by mulching, by checking whether it is free of any insects or any disease. Only by proper caring, one can support the fruit to ripen, to become a delicious tree. In the same way, a meditator has no authority to order for the samadhi to come up. If you understand this, you have to be patient when you are practicing meditation. There should be no disappointment. There should not be no anger at the lack of progress in your practice. Instead, you should be patient, like a patient gardener, taking care of the trees and the flowers and the fruits. Let them bloom and let them grow. Let the fruit ripen. What you need is you just only need gentle care and patient care. In the same way, you practice your meditation with the patience, perseverance, and dedications, and also inspiration, and with a relaxed and balanced mental attitudes. This is what you need. You must not rush. You cannot rush to progress in your practice. And let everything take their own course. You just only need to take gentle care and proper care. So the first condition is absence of the mental developments, such as five hindrance and those wandering thoughts, etc. And another condition is called the Aramana Sutta. Aramana Sutta. The object of concentration itself is pure, calm, and still. So it is not your requirement. It's natural. The object itself is calm. The focus, especially, the object of focus, mental focus itself is still and calm. This is not a requirement for Maridita. It is just only expression of the Santa, why it is being calm. Now, another word is anger, components. That Samadhi is calm and peaceful because it is absent. It's free of any distraction, distracting initial thoughts and recurrent thoughts. So being calm and being peaceful means that because it is absence of the defilement and distraction, and also it is remains fixed on the peaceful focus on the object, meditation object, and because it lacks any kind of distraction of initial thoughts and recurrent thoughts. So that's why it's called a sanda. Now the second word is adjective word, panido. Panido is translated in text as insatiable, but this word is not relevant. Insatiable means something which causes you more desire. So I rather translate this word as endless joy, causing endless joy. This joy is so wonderful. You don't desire it, but you are happy with it. And also that occurrence of the joy is continuous and spontaneous. Non-stop joy. So that is what it means, panido. Patipasada lado. And that samadhi is to be developed only after a meditator attain bodily calm and mental calm. This is a very important characteristic. I have already explained about how a meditator start making progress. When he knows the bodily calm and mental calm, and the bodily lightness and mental lightness, body pliancy, mental pliancy, and then everything's move on effortlessly. And samadhi will come and will sustain it, it lasts long. So that's what it means. Patipasada, by being calm, by having attained bodily calm and mental calm. Lado means attain. This samadhi is to be attained only after developing bodily calm and mental calm. Egodi bhava digito. This is a compound noun, very long compound noun. Egodi means being as one object. In this case, the mind only have one object, fully immersed into that object. That's why it's called egodi. Eka, only one. Uti means occurring. That means the occurrence only remain on the one object. Bhava adigado. Egodi bhava is a studied noun. When the mind achieves to one-pointedness, this means that the mind is focused on one object, remaining fixed and fully immersed into it. Adigado to be developed through a condition when the mind remains fixed and remain immersed in one point of the object. Na sasankhara niksha varita kato. This is what I have explained in the gold purification talk. Now I want to explain again here so that you can understand. Sasankhara niksha varita kato is compound noun. Sasankhara means intentionally. Niksha means being pressed. Varita, prohibited, being prohibited. To develop the samadhi in the initial phase of the practice, a meditator needs to make effort, intentional effort, to use pressure, especially to block occurrence of the negative mental states. They are called the hindrance. Sometimes they are referred to the hostile mind, pichanikatama, hostile thing, hostile mental state. Hostile mental states are actually not enemy. They are just only mental states. Impure mental states that can disturb the practice. They are desire, aversion, and sloth in torpor, mental restlessness, and feeling remorse and guilt for something you have done, for something you haven't done, and also doubt. These are gross distraction. But a minor distraction, thoughts related with the family, thinking about the families and friends and location and politics and business and your job and your past experience, and then finally you are young, etc. All these guys, you have to intentionally block them so that they don't occur by being mindful, by applying mindfulness. This is called the niksha. You used blocking. Varida means you just protect your mind from unwholesome mentality generally. So, in this case, a meditator in the early phase, his samadhi is called the abhaguna samadhi. Abhaguna means unskilled, unsustained. Sasava samadhi. Concentration still affected by mental defilements. So in the initial phase, some meditators for the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks, if they cannot maintain uninterrupted continual mindfulness, they still have thoughts. They still have those kind of occasional occurrence of the defilements. So he has to intentionally make effort to remain mindful, to maintain his mindfulness. This is what's called sasankhara niksha vaidagato. This samadhi is still unskilled, and it is still shaking and fragile the moment that defilements and wandering thoughts arise. When a person makes a sufficient amount of progress and attain this kind of advanced, long-lasting concentration, he doesn't need to make intentional effort. Concentration itself is there. It is spontaneous. It's automatic. It just come up and appear, like the wonderful taste of the persimmon fruit. When it reaches maturity, the color turns to yellow and red, beautiful color, from the green to yellow and red. And the taste is also wonderful, amazing taste. No one put the taste into it. Let there be sweet taste. No one come and command. In the same way, in the mind of meditator, no one come in order. Let there be peace and wonderful calm. You just generate that. Meditator generate that kind of wonderful, positive mental qualities by oneself, by meditator himself, by his effort, by his balanced effort, by bringing all those mental faculties into maturity and the balance amount. How wonderful it is. You can manipulate your own mind if you are trained, unless otherwise you are trained. You will be always your slave. It's the slaves of your own mind. You will be slaves and underling and very pitiful steps of your own mind. When your mind asks you to be sorry, you are sorry. And when your mind manipulates you to be agitated, you are agitated. Our mind is our boss, our Lord, all the time. If you maintain your mindfulness continuously, and you will be able to manage your mind, and you will be able to experience such wonderful states. Now, let me continue to explain the remaining number fig characteristic, number fig experience. And this is also very wonderful. Sato kopanaham imam smabijami sato utami. Being mindful and alert, I will enter into this sustained state of the concentration. Be mindful and alert and aware. I will emerge and get up out of this joy and calm. So this is a very simple explanation and translation of the sentence. In this case, sato means is an adverb. By being aware and being mindful, I will enter into this wonderful, long-lasting absorption state, and for longer period of time, up to 3 hours, 4 hours, one day and one night, or maybe 7 days at the maximum. And I will get out of this wonderful state of joy and calm at the prescribed moment, being mindful and alert. This mentions about general conditions of advanced absorption states, advanced fruition stage, especially for those who have attained the third and the fourth jhana and various kind of samadhis and fruition stage, including the highest state of the Nirodha Samapatti. Nirodha Samapatti is nowhere to be found in any other belief outside Buddha's teaching. Only in Buddha's teaching you can find such kind of wonderful spiritual condition where a person can remain for 7 days without any need to get up, without any feeling of the physical discomfort, without any mental activities, without any need to eat or drink, etc. A person can manipulate his time of entering into this wonderful, sustained long duration of the samadhi. Some people, they can prescribe their time. Within 1 hour, I will get out of that. Before they enter into that state, they make an aspiration, aditana, and they can exactly get out of that state at the prescribed hours and times. So this is the one unique, outstanding characteristic of the advanced state of the concentration, when a meditator achieves higher state of the absorption. These are unbelievable and difficult to explain from a modern scientific viewpoint. For ordinary meditators like us and like you may not be able to achieve that far and that high, but you can aim. If your paramis are enough to achieve that, and if your efforts reach maturity, you can achieve this kind of wonderful samadhi enjoy with these 5 unique characteristic attributes. May all of you be able to practice your meditation patiently and with a relaxed attitude. May your practice progress, leading you to attainment of the higher state of the joy and peace.